Hello, everybody, and welcome back to episode 4 of The C-Listers. I'm Mara, and that's Mark, and today we.
Hello.
Oh, there he is.
Well, you can't just say that's Mark and not expect me to say something.
Exactly. But today we have easily the most anticipated episode of all time, with one of the most personally anticipated movies of all time. Literally been waiting 2 years for this.
Yes, we have.
Spider-Man Far From Home. Alright, but before we get into that, let's go into the news. Take it away, Mark.
Yes, we've got some real exciting news today, as Mara knows. First off, we've got something about the Tom and Jerry movie. Yes, that's how good the news is this week. We're leading off with the Tom and Jerry live-action movie that's going to be made. Colin Jost was cast in it from Saturday Night Live fame. You may know him as the white guy next to Michael Che on Weekend Update.
That's good.
Isn't he married to someone famous too?
Yeah, yeah. Isn't he married to like Kobe Smulders or something like that?
No, that's
Oh, that's Taran
Taran
Killam. Yep.
Oh no, he was
Scarlett
dating
Johansson.
Scarlett Johansson at
Yes.
one point.
They were engaged.
Or, oh, they're
No,
still
they're engaged.
still dating.
They are engaged.
Oh, they're engaged.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So yeah, so the white guy from Weekend Update and the weird dude that's always hanging around with Scarlett Johansson. No, he's cool. I like him. I think he's pretty funny. But he was cast in the Tom and Jerry movie, and I said this tomorrow before we started recording. This is our Who Gives a Shit of the week. First of all, why are they making a live-action Tom and Jerry movie?
Oh wait, it's live action.
Yeah, it's gonna be like Lion King style.
Oh, so
So
animated.
realistic CGI. They call it live action, but there's gonna be actual humans in it, so it is like
Yes. Okay, then it is
yeah,
live action.
yeah. So he's obviously not gonna be Tom and or Jerry because neither of them talk. But what are your thoughts on this, Mara? Colin Jost, Tom and Jerry.
Honestly, while I was reading it, I thought they were gonna do like a Tom and Jerry where Tom and Jerry speak and he was just gonna be a voice. I didn't realize he's gonna be like in the movie as like a human being.
Well, I'm assuming that's what he's going to do, because if they make Tom and Jerry talk, there's going to be a revolt on the internet.
Yeah, I thought they were just gonna change it up.
Yeah, I don't know, but I'm telling you, folks, it's not great news this week. So that's the first thing. Second thing is going to be for the Flash movie, which I don't know if it's still going to be called Flashpoint. It was for a little while, but the DCEU is back at it again. They're going to have a Flash movie, obviously based on the show and the character from the comic book. Ezra Miller is going to star in it to reprise his role as the Flash as seen in the show, Justice League, all that stuff. But they might have their director and screenwriter. The director in talks for the movie is Andy Muschietti, who directed It, which was has already become sort of a modern classic horror movie.
Yeah.
A lot of people. I'm checking to see. I don't know if he's directing Chapter 2. I'm checking that right now. He is. So he's also directing It Chapter 2, which I'm very excited for. So that's a pretty good director to have attached to it at this point, I feel. He hasn't really directed much in terms of like feature-length movies. He did a movie called Mama, which is a horror movie, it looks like. Jessica Chastain was also in that one. She's in It Chapter 2. Yeah, it's a horror movie. That's from 2013.
I feel like anything called Mama is just
Yeah.
automatically. Oh.
And everything else he did was in Europe. I believe he's from Italy. So, that's It and Mama are the only two feature-length American movies he's done. He's obviously he's directing a chapter 2 of The Flash, and he's also doing a movie. He's doing the Attack on Titan movie.
Oh,
He's
interesting.
directing that.
Interesting group he's got there.
Yeah, so he's going to most likely direct it, and then the screenwriter from Bumblebee, Christina Hudson, also in talks to write the script for that. Mara, did you see Bumblebee?
I've seen like 2 minutes of it.
Okay, so you didn't watch the full thing.
No.
I'm just gonna check and see what I have it rated.
Yeah. They showed it at my school and I was gonna watch it, and then I watched like 2 minutes, and then I was like, I have better things to be doing, and left.
I know I have it in the 70s somewhere.
Mm.
Like I enjoyed it for
Yep.
sure. I don't think I had it higher than the original Transformers or the 2007 one, but I can't find it right now. But it was pretty good.
All right.
Oh no, I did have it rated higher. It's a 78 for me. So I gave Bumblebee a 78. I thought the script was pretty good. I like her style of writing. There were a few things about the movie I didn't enjoy, but I feel like that goes more so towards the director. But yeah, are you a Flash person? Do you like Flash?
I like the idea of the character Flash, but I've never actually really gotten to watching any of that stuff.
Yeah. I've never seen the show. I've actually never seen an episode of any of the DCEU shows. You know, Flash, Supergirl. Does Gotham count? No, Gotham's different. Didn't they have a Green Arrow show? Yeah, Arrow it was called.
Yeah. I think I remember someone watching that.
Yeah, I know people that have watched them. They say they're pretty good. I've never seen any of them, but I do think the Flash is a cool character. So I'm not totally out on this movie. I think DC might be starting to rein things in a little bit, sort of get their vibe with these movies, because Flash is sort of from what I've heard, sort of a comic relief character. Well, not comic relief character, but Ezra Miller gives him some, funny personality and stuff in the movies and show. So I'm sort of interested in that one. If it's anything from what I've heard Shazam is like, I think it could be fun. I still haven't seen Shazam, but I've heard it's funny. That was like the only DCEU movie I've ever been excited for. But I still haven't seen it. So
yeah, I feel the exact same way.
Yeah. So that's the Flash movie. Moving on to some Star Wars news. Now, Mara, I know you're not one for hearing things about Star Wars before it comes out.
Yes.
But I feel like this news is sort of kind of big, and we sort of need to talk about it. Apparently, after Episode 9, we will know who Rey's parents are, which is big, because in The Last Jedi, or I should have just said The Rise of Skywalker. We know the title now. We don't have to keep calling it Star Wars 9. But in The Rise of Skywalker, we're going to find out who her parents are. And when in The Last Jedi, Kylo Ren said your parents were nobody. They were drunks, and they left you deserted on a shit planet. Obviously, it's not an exact quote, but I don't know how I feel about this. I kind of liked that her parents were nobody.
I did too.
I have a strange feeling, and this is something I thought before The Last Jedi came out, and now that I know they're going to do this, I have a strange feeling her dad might be Obi-Wan.
That's interesting.
Not Luke. I don't think it's going to be Luke, but I think it could be Obi-Wan, strictly because in the show The Clone Wars, there was a love interest of Obi-Wan. Her name was Duchess Satine. Yeah, Duchess Satine of Mandalore. And they were like ex-boyfriend, girlfriend, that sort of thing. But then he realized that, he's a Jedi, he can't have that sort of attachment. But there was always a little, there was some chemistry there throughout the show whenever she was in any episodes. So I have a feeling it could be Obi-Wan that is revealed to be Rey's father.
Is Rey old enough?
That's the only thing that sort of throws a wrench in it.
Yeah.
But I think there's a chance that It could be like it's more of like I don't know if they're gonna do it. That's just something I think they could do. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I was gonna ask if you think they're gonna just like introduce us to their like junk trader parents, or if they're gonna make them someone important.
They could do that, and I'd be fine with that. I think that's the way to go. Keep
Yeah.
her parents as nobodies, because that makes her more intriguing. We don't need all this this connectivity in Star Wars.
Mhm.
Uh, the universe is so big, and they try to connect everything. And I would prefer it if we just got like almost like a flashback. If they did a flashback of her parents leaving her or something, and they were just junk traders that left her on Jakku.
Yeah.
But I don't know. With J.J. Abrams, he loves bringing back the old characters.
Mhm. I think she is such a more interesting character if she's not related to them in any way.
Absolutely, because that provides the mystery of how she's so strong.
Mhm.
That's one of the biggest problems with the prequels is they get into like the metachlorians and stuff like that, but they do show that anyone can have them.
Mhm.
You know, Anakin was from nobody. He didn't even have a father, for Christ's sake. He was born from the metachlorians. It can happen.
Mhm.
But you don't need to have her connected to another Force user for her to be able to use the Force. So I hope that she's just a mysterious, really powerful Force user. Like that's what I want.
Yes, that's exactly what I want to.
I'm glad we agree on this because I feel like this can because I remember before The Last Jedi came out, that was like the big thing. Oh, who are Rey's parents? Are we gonna find out
Mhm.
in this one? Are we gonna find out in Episode 9? And that was like one of my favorite points they did in The Last Jedi was that her parents were nobody. But J.J. Abrams, he brought back Han Solo. He brought back Princess Leia. He's bringing back Lando Calrissian for this one.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, Billy D. Williams is reprising his role as Lando,
Alrighty.
which I'm very excited for. Big Lando guy.
Big Lando guy.
Huge Lando guy.
Oh, speaking of Lando, just all random point here. You know how in
Uh-huh.
Cards Against Humanity, if there's only like 2 or 3 people, you play with Rando Calrissian?
Yes.
My sisters call it Rando Kardashian, and I'm like, you guys are just ruining this. Sorry, trigger moment.
Kardashian, whatever.
Yeah,
I'm not going to get into it.
it's they're stupid. End of story.
Yeah, so I'm super excited for The Rise of Skywalker, but I'm not sure how I feel about that news. You still haven't watched the trailer, right?
No, I have not.
Yeah, because... Oh, yeah, that's right. You never watch Star Wars
I
trailers.
don't watch Star Wars trailers because I feel they give away way too much.
That's fair.
I would rather
I feel
just
like
watch the movie.
The Last Jedi trailers did not, though. The Last
No,
Jedi trailers
I did
really
see
threw
the
me
Last
for a
Jedi
loop.
trailer because they showed it at one of the meetings I was at.
Yeah.
So and I did not mind that one, but that movie stunk. So
Yeah. Uh, that's very true. Um, so we've got two more pieces of news, and then Mara's got a surprise for me, and I'm excited about that. But before that, um, a the first trailer for the new movie Knives Out was released today. We're recording on Tuesday, July 2nd. So the trailer was released. I think this movie looks awesome.
I do too.
Speaking of The Last Jedi, Rian Johnson's the director.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. So this flows better than I thought it would. But yeah, so Rian Johnson's new movie, and it actually, just going back to The Last Jedi for a second, I think Rian Johnson got way too much hate for that movie because I think he's a really good director and I like quite a few of his things. So that's part of why I'm super excited for this.
Mhm.
But like he did a movie called Brick, which I absolutely love. It's from 2005. Joseph Gordon-Levitt's in it. It's in the style of a film noir, like one of those old school detective
Yes.
movies, but it takes place at a high school.
That's
It's really cool.
interesting. Yeah.
Really cool movie. It's on Netflix. Go watch it. So Ryan Johnson's directing this movie, Knives Out. It's a murder mystery movie. In what I'm assuming, it seems like the style of the Agatha Christie show, and then there were none. Do you know that one?
No,
Where
I
like
do not.
everyone's trapped in a house because of a storm, and like people keep dying, and they have to find who the killer is.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Very famous Agatha Christie play. Might have been a book first. She might have wrote a book and then they turned it into a play, but I believe she wrote it as a play. I'm not sure. Um, but I'm very excited for this movie.
Yeah, the trailer made it look really good.
Yeah, the trailer is great. I thought it was a fantastic trailer. Great cast too.
Yeah, anytime
Chris Evans.
you get a Captain America James Bond crossover, like
Oh yeah.
you can't lose.
Chris Evans plays a complete douchebag, it looks like, by the trailer. Daniel Craig is like this southern, like, cop, like, detective. Michael Shannon's in it. Jamie Lee Curtis. Christopher Plummer plays the guy that dies. And that's not a spoiler. That's what the movie is about. Someone kills Christopher Plummer, and then they have to find the killer. There's someone else, too, that I was excited about. Oh, Ana de Armas. She's one of the main characters, most well known from Blade Runner 2049.
Yeah, and the kid from It is in it too. I saw
which
him.
one?
The like main kid. I can't remember his name.
Oh,
Uh, Jaden
yeah, Jaden Martell.
Martell.
Yeah,
That's two L's. You're right.
yeah, who plays yeah, Bill.
Yes.
So he's in it. Like, great cast.
Yes.
Fantastic cast. I mean, Christopher Plummer's a screen legend, and he just how old's Christopher Plummer? Hold on, he's 90.
Oh my god.
He was born or he's almost 90. He was born December 13th, 1929.
That's old.
He is, yeah. I didn't realize he was that old. I thought he was about 80, but he has been active in movies since the 50s. So that just shows you what kind of screen presence this guy has. A lot of people know him. He's the guy that replaced Kevin Spacey in All the Money in the World, the John Paul Getty movie a couple years back, when Spacey obviously dealt with his allegations, and they brought Christopher Plummer in 2 months before the movie's release
Oh my god.
to replace him, and he got a Best Supporting Actor nomination for it. So he's an incredible actor. I hope they don't kill him off too early, honestly. I hope I get to see a little bit of Christopher Plummer. I love that guy.
I feel like it's probably
But-
not going to be that much.
No, he's obviously going to die pretty early on. But I hope we get like 20 minutes of Christopher Plummer, you know what I mean? I don't want him there for like an hour, but I also don't want him there for 5 minutes.
Yep.
So it's like a decent amount of Christopher Plummer, just because he's earned that. Wait a minute. He was an Up.
Was he?
Yeah, he wasn't Carl, but he was Charles Muntz. I don't remember who that is, but
Oh,
he
was
was
that
the
the,
voice
like-
in Up.
Bad guy?
It might be the bad guy, yeah. I actually, like, my favorite Christopher Plummer role is from the 70s. In the original Pink Panther series with Peter Sellers, the, like, really old Pink Panther movies. He plays the villain, the Phantom, Sir Charles Lytton, and he's hilarious. So freaking funny. Specifically, the Return of the Pink Panther. Incredible movie. So funny. But yeah, we're both very excited for this movie. If you haven't seen the trailer yet, go watch it. It's awesome. I love a good murder mystery movie. Especially anything that's similar to Agatha Christie, because I'm a big Agatha Christie fan. But yeah, that's going to be awesome, probably. I hope. High expectations. And on to our last piece of real news. Folks, I bring you this one with a sad heart. It looks like Avengers Endgame isn't going to beat that steaming pile of shit Avatar at the box office. Last I heard, it was about $26 million behind it. I'm going to bring up Box Office Mojo right now to check. It's now 23 million behind it.
That's rough.
And it's because its domestic numbers are almost a full 100 million ahead of it, but it's not doing the numbers Avatar did overseas.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. So that one's a disappointment.
It's very disappointing.
I really wanted it to beat Avatar. But hey, it's still one of 5 movies ever to make $2 billion.
Yes.
So we can't discredit it. Also, it's Endgame and Infinity War are 2 of the top 5 highest grossing movies of all time.
That's actually ridiculous.
The first Avengers is 7th, Age of Ultron is 9th, Black Panther's 10th. These movies make an insane amount of money.
Yes.
There's so many Marvel movies over $1 billion. It's actually kind of insane. But yeah, that one sucks. James Cameron, you win. You best believe that Avatar 2 ain't making shit. That's
what about Avatar 3?
I'm still mad he's got 4 sequels in the works right now.
Wait, there's 4 in
No, I'm sorry. There's 4 more planned.
Okay.
But I think he's working on 2 of them right now. I believe he's working on 2 and 3 at the same time.
Yeah, they're filming 2 and 3 at the same time because it's cheaper.
It took him like 10 years to figure out how to film underwater. So fuck you, James Cameron.
Oh my god.
Here's the thing. I don't even hate James Cameron movies. Like, there's a lot of James Cameron movies I like. Like the first two Terminator movies are awesome. He did Aliens. Fuck Titanic. That movie stinks.
I don't like the Titanic.
Oh god, it's such a bad movie. I hate that movie. True Lies. That's a really cool movie. Another Arnold movie.
Cirque du Soleil, Worlds Away.
Okay. He wrote the screenplay for Rambo: First Blood Part 2. Hell yeah. But yeah, he's, I'm just mad that all this is happening.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate.
He also wrote the screenplay to Alita Battle Angel this year. So that's, James Cameron. Fuck you. Oh, one more thing about Endgame. I mentioned this tomorrow before we started recording, and I meant to say it now. This will not be the last re-release. Avengers Endgame will be re-released in the fall to try to get some Oscar buzz for it. Which I'm fine with that. I wish they did that instead of re-releasing it like 2 weeks after it left theaters.
Yeah.
Because I won't go into what the extra things they added were, but it's not great. I haven't seen them yet, but from what I've heard, it's very disappointing. So that's that when it comes to Avengers Endgame and Avatar. Rest in peace. So our last thing here is Mara's got a surprise.
Okay, folks.
She texted me. Oh, wait, I was just going to give the background.
Okay.
She texted me a little bit before we started recording. And let me see exactly what you said here. Where is it? Oh, yeah, she goes, I got something that I want to bring up, and I want to get your first genuine reaction. And I asked her if it would be on Screen Rant so it wouldn't get spoiled for me, and she said there was a negative chance I would know what this is by going on Screen Rant. So, I'm excited. Let's hear it.
Alright, this isn't movie-related whatsoever, but this is important for society as a whole.
Okay.
So Matt Wegmans, right? Grocery store,
Yep.
For those of you not from the Northeast.
Yeah, Wegmans, best grocery store on the planet. Continue.
And my mom goes over to taste the grapes.
Mm-hmm.
And the first like warning sign should have been that the grapes were in a were in a pink bag.
Awful.
And my mom is going to eat the grape, and I'm like, Mom, those are organic grapes. What are you doing? And she's like, Oh, this tastes awful. And then she goes, It tastes like cotton candy. And I look at the bag, and they're cotton candy flavored grapes.
What?
Organic, too.
Organic cotton candy flavored grapes.
And they're green grapes. Not
Okay,
even
I like
red
green
grapes.
grapes.
I like green grapes better, too. But
I mean, I like both. I don't have a preference, but still.
I like green grapes better. But, like, cotton candy flavored grapes? Like, what?
You've done it. You found the worst food ever invented.
Like, who did this? Who? I
I
want to
don't
go
know.
to their house and punch them in the face. Like,
Oh my god, that's awful.
oh my god.
And you were right. I didn't see that on Screen Rant.
If that was on Screen Rant, I think we might need to give Screen Rant a good talking to.
Why are you following her mom?
Stay away from my mom.
I see it on TMZ tomorrow. Wait a minute. No, I don't actually watch TMZ.
I'm glad.
So thank you for sharing that, Mara. That's wow.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
So it's time to get into our review. As Mara said earlier, probably the biggest review we'll do on this podcast.
Like, literally, go back 2 years. July 6th, 2017. I walk out of the Spider-Man Homecoming movie theater. I look up Spider-Man Homecoming 2. I see July 5th, 2019. I put that date in my phone.
She did.
Instantly.
I can confirm I was with her.
And then come, like 2 months ago, they're like, haha, July 2nd. And I was just a little disappointed. But either way, I don't care. Got it sooner.
Yeah, so we saw the midnight release last night.
Yes.
Well, 12:01.
The very first showing in New York.
Yes, first showing in New York. We got home around 3 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
and we were strongly considering recording this right after, but we decided not to.
Even though neither of us went to sleep until 6 or 7
No,
a.m.
Yeah, we could have easily recorded this, but
Oh, yes.
we just decided against it. And I've just got written in my notes here, freaking Spider-Man, man. Holy shit, what a movie. Spider-Man Far From Home.
God.
Incredible movie.
Also, quick warning, spoiler alert.
Yeah, I was
This
about
will
to say
contain
that.
spoilers.
We are going to spoil the shit spoil the shit out of this movie because there's so much to talk about. And
much.
we need to talk about all of it. This might be like a 3-hour episode. We've got so much to talk about.
Oh, God.
So we're going to start off. Mara's going to give her score. I don't have a score for this yet, and I'll get into it during the review. But, Mara, what's your score?
Mark, I have to do it. I just have to. It's 100.
Mara gives it a 100.
It is instantly became my favorite movie. Like, no downtime. Favorite movie. Most enjoyable movie I've ever seen in my life.
I agree. This is the most fun movie I've ever seen. And here's what's so great about this movie. So you could tell from the trailers it was going to deal with the death of Tony Stark. It balanced emotion, romance, action, and humor as perfectly as I've ever seen in a movie.
It was so well done.
All 4 of those things are main parts of the movie. And usually you would say, oh God, they tried to jam so much into this movie. It was done perfectly.
And also,
this
the
movie...
Spider-Man action scenes?
Oh, they were so incredibly
They
shot.
were so good.
We're gonna be hopping around a lot, by the way. I don't have any notes written for how we're gonna review this. We're just gonna talk about it. Because this is just one of those movies that we have, like I said, we have so much to say, so we're just going to keep talking about it. But the cinematography in this movie was incredible. The action scenes looked perfect. There was nothing wrong with any of the action scenes. I thought the dialogue was so good. There's so many great jokes in this
So
movie.
many of the jokes land. So many.
I I don't remember not laughing at a joke. I think this movie landed every joke
Every
or
joke.
bit, gag, whatever. They all landed. It it's seriously, and this is gonna sound sacrilegious because I have, hold on, let me see where I have two comic book movies rated at a 98. Okay? The Dark Knight and Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. This is better than both of them.
Yes.
I've decided I'm giving this movie a 99.
There it is, folks.
This movie is a 99. It's that good.
It's so good.
And sure, you know what? I don't care. This might be biased because we're both huge Spider-Man fans. I don't care.
It's
This movie's a 99.
it's so good because like Spider-Man's in like Endgame, and so the bias is still there. But I think this is still like better than Endgame.
I do too. I really do. Um, Endgame for me is like a 96, I think. I'm just checking right here. Mara, riff about the weather or something.
I can hear a lot of
Oh,
fireworks.
oh no, I got it. It's a 94. I gave Avengers Endgame a 94, which made it my second highest rated MCU movie already because I gave Homecoming a 96. So the fact that this movie was better than Homecoming is insane.
It's
I love Spider-Man
crazy.
Homecoming, and this is better.
There's two particular ways where Homecoming beats Far From Home, and it has nothing to do with the movie. It's the trailer and the posters.
See, I really like the posters for this movie.
Are you talking about
How-
the real poster? Because that's trash.
The one where it's his face with all the stickers on it?
Oh, not that one. The other one that literally looks like someone like a child just photoshopped all the members into it, like that really bad poster.
Oh yeah, that one isn't great.
Yeah, that one's bad. The other one, that one's good. That one's good.
Yeah, that was the background on my phone for a little while.
Yeah.
Now
But
the Homecoming poster is the background on my phone.
but the Homecoming trailer, oh my god, I had to have watched that at least like once a day for a couple months leading up to the
Yeah.
premiere.
Yeah, but here's the thing. That's not even part of the movie.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Like
That's the only two times it beats it aren't even part of the movie. It's just other stuff.
exactly.
Which I thought the trailers for this were great as well.
I loved the Homecoming trailer.
Yeah, me too. I think it was that had something to do with Tom Holland though. We
That's
were like,
true.
"Oh, there's a young Spider-Man and he's getting his own feature film." You know what I mean? Plus it showed some cool shots of the Vulture and but this movie just wow.
Yeah.
And oh, we didn't even, so we're just going to talk about the post-credit scene right now.
Okay.
And do you want to tell the story or should I tell the story of what happened during the credits?
Oh, yeah, you can go for it.
So Mara and I saw it, like I said, at midnight last night with our friend Robbie. Now, if you've ever seen any of our YouTube videos from our other channel, or if you know us, you know who Robbie is. So the three of us went to see it. And it was obviously the end of the movie. The credits are rolling. Robbie really has to take a piss. We're all exhausted. It's fucking 2:40 in the morning. And right before the post-credit, the first, or the mid-credit scene, I should say,
Yeah.
the screen goes black. And we're all like, what the fuck? You know, people are turning on the flashlights on their phones, all this stuff. It just stopped playing. And no one got out of their seats. No one did anything except yell.
Yeah, I swear there was
It
going to
was-
be a riot if they didn't
It
start
was
playing it.
insane. And so we actually got to see the credits twice because they started the credits over and then we got to see the mid and post credit scene, which last night I wasn't huge about the post credit scene, but after thinking about it some today, I like it a lot more. but the mid-credit
The
scene.
mid-credit scene.
Oh my,
Oh my
best mid
god.
or post-credit scene in Marvel. It takes the cake from Guardians of the Galaxy, revealing Thanos with the Infinity Gauntlet. It's, oh my, the
It's insane.
mid-credit scene is so good.
Easily the most impactful one as well.
Oh, absolutely. So what happens is, and like we said earlier, massive spoiler alert. If you don't want to hear this, stop listening to the podcast.
Just go watch the movie.
Just
Just
go
go.
watch the movie. If you haven't seen it yet, don't listen to this at all. So it starts off where Peter and MJ are swinging around New York because they're dating now, by the way. Peter and MJ had the most hilarious first kiss ever.
Oh my god. That was so well done as well. Like
Yeah, they just like gave each other a little peck on the lips twice, and then all of a sudden they were full on kissing. But it was really funny the way they did it because they were
yeah.
both so awkward throughout the entire movie. So they're swinging around New York, and she goes, "Oh, put me down, put me down, put me down." And so Peter puts her down. And he's about to leave, and so he swings up and he lands on a lamppost because he sees a breaking news thing appear on one of the screens in Times Square, and it's a news anchor who's talking about how it appears that Spider-Man killed Mysterio out of spite, or like cold-blooded. He killed him in cold blood because people didn't realize that Mysterio was the villain the entire time. They thought he was a superhero that, a lot of people theorize that, so that's not really spoiling anything, but Mysterio was the big villain of this movie, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And so he played up the whole, I'm a hero thing for like the first 2/5 of the movie, probably not quite half. But and he had taken a video that was heavily edited of Spider-Man saying he was gonna execute a bunch of people and that he was gonna kill Mysterio and all this stuff. And then Mysterio dies, or he dies at the end. But before he dies, we find out that in this universe, J.K. Simmons is J. Jonah fucking Jameson,
For the dailybugle.net.
which is a parody of InfoWars with Alex Jones. It's so great.
So great.
And he says, what's he say? He's like, "You've better sit down for this. This is the real bombshell." And it's a video of Mysterio saying Spider-Man is Peter Parker.
Then they just flash an image of him. Oh my god.
Oh my. So
oh
Peter
my god.
is now considered a villain by many because they think Mysterio was the hero and that Spider-Man killed Mysterio and that he caused all this damage in Europe, and then they reveal his identity to the entire world.
It's ridiculous.
It's nuts. It's fucking nuts.
It's insane. Oh, and then they use the audio of him saying like yes to all the canceling to say that he ordered a drone strike. And I'm just like, what the heck?
Because there were drones. So Mysterio's whole thing is he used drones to create illusions and to try to kill people. And so he had a bunch of Stark tech because the thing is, Quentin Beck worked for Tony Stark, and when he died, he didn't pass on any of the tech to his employees. And so there was a bunch of Easter eggs from like previous movies, and Quentin Beck is the one who created the barf technology that he used in, what was it, Civil War?
I can't remember what movie that was.
The like holographic thing he used for therapy in one of the previous movies, where Quentin Beck created that, and Iron Man made the acronym BARF, and he was really mad about that, and that Tony never really used it for what it was meant to be used for. There was also another Easter egg with Obadiah Stane's assistant in the original Iron Man that he, where he yelled, "He made a suit out of a box of scraps!" That part.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a team of people, and Mysterio, Quentin Beck was just like the ringleader of them all, and he was mad that Tony didn't give him any of the tech, and instead he gave it to Peter. But yet, when Spider-Man got these glasses back called, what was it, Edith? Yeah.
Yeah, Edith.
Yeah, because it had a whole. The acronym was short for "Even Dead, I'm Still," or "I'm the Hero,"
Yes.
which is just Tony being Tony. But yeah, like I know him. Uh, Me and Tony on a first name
Ah,
basis.
Tony.
Hey Tony, hey Tone. But so they're the special glasses that he wore in Endgame, and I believe in Infinity War too. Yeah, in Infinity War, I mean, not he might have worn them in Endgame, but the glasses that he wears to like in the beginning of Infinity War when Thanos' Black Order are first coming to Earth to get the Time Stone. But he gives those glasses to Peter, and Peter gets them back because he gave them to Quentin Beck because Peter's a fucking moron. Um, when he gets them back, they're like, "Do you want to execute all the drone attacks?" And he was like, "Yes, execute them all." And Mysterio
No,
edited that audio
he said, "Do you want to cancel all
or
cancel
cancel.
measures or whatever?"
Yeah, but he said yes, execute them all. And Mysterio edited that into Spider-Man launching a drone strike, saying execute them all, like kill the people.
Mhm.
And it was insane.
Yeah.
Just absolutely nuts mid-credit scene. Oh my lord.
So just
Um
one thing. You said Times Square, but I believe it was actually Madison Square Garden that the
oh,
screen was
okay.
on. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Um Thank you. Um but then the post-credit scene was we found out that throughout the course of the movie, Nick Fury and Maria Hill were not actually Nick Fury and Maria Hill. They were Skrulls that
Dang
replaced
scrolls.
them. And while Hill and Fury are on a special mission in space, we don't know what that mission is yet.
We don't even know if Hill's there.
Well, it's assumed that she's there because one of the Skrulls was Maria Hill.
Yeah, but
So,
where was she? More major implications.
she, they were on a big ass spaceship, Mara. We didn't have to see her.
Yeah, but we saw Nick Fury without shoes on.
That's true. We did see Nick Fury without shoes on. He goes, "Who's got my shoes?" That's my Samuel L. Jackson impression.
Wasn't terrible.
It was pretty terrible. Um,
Better than mine.
Give us your Sam Jackson.
I'd rather not.
All right. Um, but so he was like in space for this secret mission, and Talos, the main Skrull from Captain Marvel, and his wife took him and Maria Hill's place throughout the course of the movie, which, like I said, at first I wasn't huge on it. I was like, but then I thought about it today, and it makes a lot of sense for the plot of the movie. Because Talos is an idiot and Nick Fury isn't.
Mm-hmm.
And Nick Fury was fooled by stuff in this movie that you were thinking, why is he getting fooled by this? Nick Fury's a real smart guy and he's a real paranoid guy.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes a lot of sense that it was Talos, because originally I was going to take a couple points off for Samuel L. Jackson's acting. I thought he was a little wooden, but it makes so much sense now. He was acting like a Skrull impersonating Nick Fury.
Yeah.
So that's why I end up deciding on giving this movie a 99. I was originally going to give it like a 97, but I thought about it overnight and thought about it more today, and that makes a lot of sense.
But you know what this also implies?
What?
That any time between Captain Marvel and now, Nick Fury could have not been Nick Fury.
Yeah, but
he could have been the Skrull.
It's that they don't believe that's the case.
But I'm just saying it's possible.
Yeah, but
or anyone who isn't a Skrull.
Yeah, it's possible that Nick Fury's been a Skrull since the 90s.
Exactly.
So, it's funny, the YouTube channel New Rockstars, they do trailer breakdowns and movie Easter egg videos and stuff. Pretty good channel. They have the main guy there, Eric Voss is his name. He has a series called Skrull Search.
Oh, that's good.
That he started after Captain Marvel. His first episode was Nick Fury.
That's That's a major win for him.
Yeah, I watched his video about the post credit scenes last night, and he was like, "You all called me crazy. You all said why are you doing this?" And I was writing my first episode. It was pretty funny. Um, but oh my god, there's so much left to talk about this movie too. Mara, what do you want to say about it?
Oh, okay. There's just so much. First of all, my jaw was dropped almost the entire time.
It
Like
was.
I could not close my mouth. And the one thing I thought was interesting is at the one point when they're watching Mysterio on the TV, like the teenagers, they say he looks like a cross between Thor and Captain America, and I was like, no, he looks much more like a cross between Thor and Iron Man. But
Yeah.
then later in the movie, they have Spider-Man with like a shield type thing, and then the like blasty thing looks kind of like Thor's hammer, and I was like, okay, that's why they did Thor and Captain
That that
America.
was a that was a really cool payoff, I thought.
Yeah, yeah, it was really worth it. But I was just that I was able to forgive like right away as soon as I saw that.
Mhm.
And then I'm so glad they put in a scene of him making the suit. Because that is one thing that I was really disappointed by in Homecoming is that he didn't make the suit.
Mhm.
And they have him like doing all this cool tech stuff with like the Tony putting the arm thing on, and
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm so happy they included that.
I we're going to see the movie again,
Oh
right?
yes, hands down.
Um I need to pay more attention in that scene because they showed like five suits.
Yes,
Like
they did.
five different suits, and I think one of them was the Scarlet Spider suit.
Really?
It had the big eyes. I couldn't tell, but I couldn't quite tell. When we see the movie again, I want to pay more attention to what the suits are in there because it did show like five different suits, and I think a couple of them might have been Easter eggs to other Spider-Man properties, like the
Yeah.
comics. Also another thing, a lot of Easter eggs in this movie, like with like the J. Jonah Jameson thing,
Yeah.
and if you've played the video game,
Oh yeah.
holy shit. The last swinging scene they have, like at the very end of the movie where he's going to meet MJ, there's so many references to the video
So
game.
many. It's pretty much just like swinging through the video game is what he's doing.
Yeah. He takes a selfie with the same pose,
Oh
like the
yeah.
same peace sign pose from the video game. It was awesome. Mara and I were sitting there basically shitting our pants. Um, they at first it takes the first scene of the movie where you see Spider-Man's in a homeless center.
Oh yeah.
Where that's like a big thing in the game is Aunt May volunteers at this homeless shelter.
Oh, and then all the like the blip references. Those were
Oh
like
yeah.
those were pretty good because like the reason they have the homeless shelters for the blip, and then
Mhm.
the kid on the airplane is like drinking champagne because he would be 21 by now.
Yeah, it was
And
Flash.
yeah, and
It was
he
Flash Thompson.
so his ID probably says that he's 21. And then
Yeah.
MJ just goes, ma'am, he was blipped, so he's actually 16 and not 21. Oh,
Yeah,
that
and they
was
take
so
the
good.
champagne. That was
That was
funny.
so good.
Um Speaking of MJ, I want to get into acting.
Oh my god.
Everyone in this movie was perfect.
Zendaya makes a great teenager.
She does. I mean, she's what, 20?
I think she's a little older than that now.
Let me check. I'm going on IMDb right now, but keep talking.
She's 22. But like,
Yeah, 22. Okay.
holy crap, she's playing a 16-year-old.
Yeah.
And she just does an amazing job. Like, she first of all, her like character, her MJ character is amazing to begin with, like in the first movie with all of her just like little comments. And then you
Yeah.
just get more of those plus like the awkwardness between her and Peter. It's honestly amazing.
Mhm.
I don't think I
It's
want anyone else to play MJ. Like,
yeah, she is so perfect. And I'm going to be honest, after Homecoming, I was like, I don't know how I feel about Zendaya as MJ. I'm My MJ was always Kirsten Dunst
yep.
growing up. The redhead.
Mhm.
Calling him Tiger. I thought I was gonna be like a old get off my lawn guy when it came to MJ, like hashtag not my MJ. But God, does she kill it in this movie?
She's so good. Oh my
And
god.
Tom Holland is perfect as always.
Mhm.
He's the best Spider-Man we'll ever see. Hands down, no one will be a better Spider-Man than him. Jake Gyllenhaal was awesome.
Oh yeah.
I love Jake Gyllenhaal. I thought one thing I liked about him, and I think he did this on purpose because Jake Gyllenhaal is such a good actor. You could tell when he was around Nick Fury and stuff that he was lying. I don't know if you picked up on that, but his dialogue like didn't flow as well as it did when he was just being like the bad guy.
Mm.
But
Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah. Totally see
you
what you
could
mean.
tell that there was something up when he was lying to Peter, when he was lying to Nick Fury. It was just I picked up on it. I thought it was fantastic.
Yeah.
And he knocked it out of the park. Nick Fury, or not Nick Fury, Sam Jackson knocked it out of the park with his whole playing a Skrull, playing Nick Fury thing.
That was good. That was good.
Same with Colby Smulders doing it for Maria Hill.
Oh, Colby Smulders. Need her in every Marvel movie, quite frankly.
Yeah, Mara and I are huge How I Met Your Mother fans, so we just love the
Plus,
shit out
I
of
just
Colby
love
Smulders.
that character. How she's
Oh, I
like
do
this
too.
side character that's just like
She's
awesome.
awesome.
She's
Yeah.
awesome.
She fucking took an RPG and blew up a drone that was about to blow Nick Fury's face off in this
That
movie.
was amazing.
He just go, they're like on like they've got like an earpiece in talking to each other, and she's on top of this building aiming this RPG, and Nick Fury goes, "You got me?" And all of a sudden she just fires the RPG and just goes, "Yeah, I got you."
And then you just see this drone.
Yeah, and then the
explode.
drone blows up. It was just cool. Little cool things like that. I feel like I'm forget. Oh, freaking Ned. I can't think of his name.
Ned.
Jacob. Jacob Batalon. Yeah, Jacob Batalon and Andrew Rice, who played Betty Brant. They were both hilarious they had a summer fling while they were in
That
Europe.
was so funny.
It was so funny. They're always calling each other babe, and Ned says these few lines about like turning into a man and stuff. It was so. What did he say at the end when they had broken up? He was like, oh God, men and women grow apart and we're better for it and all this stuff."
Yeah.
It was so funny.
Or like when he's walking into the room where Nick Fury first interacts with Spider-Man, and he's like, when I first fell in love, and then he's just
I had just
out.
finished my fruit cobbler, and then Nick Fury shoots him in the neck with a tranq dart. Which they show that in the trailers, but it was just funny. What was the other one he said? Oh, I I was a boy and now I'm a man, and I'm a man who has met a woman, a strong, independent woman, and all this stuff. And it was just so funny the way he delivered it. He was being such a tool, and oh my God, because before they went to Europe, he was like, "We're gonna be bachelors in Europe, man," and then he sits next to her on a plane ride, and all of a sudden they're dating.
That was so funny.
Oh my God, it was great. JB Smoove. Oh God, he was one of the chaperones on the field trip. He kept saying it was witches doing all this shit, and he's like a science
He
teacher.
goes, as a science man, witches.
Just Martin Starr, who plays the teacher, he's hilarious as always.
Oh, his little scene with he's trying to take a selfie with a 3mm camera, and then
he drops it into the lake.
Then you think he's gonna drop it, but he doesn't, and then he does.
Yeah, you looked at me and you were like, "They got me."
Because I was like, oh, they didn't drop it when I thought they would, and then like literally 2 seconds later they drop it.
One of my favorite lines in the entire movie was when he was sitting next to Peter on the plane going to Europe, and he starts telling Peter that his wife faked being blipped and left him for another man.
That was so funny.
I laughed so hard. Oh God. The start of the movie where "And I Will Always Love You."
Oh
and it's the montage.
God.
It's the montage of Tony Stark, Cap, Vision,
Scarlet Witch.
No,
not Scarlet Witch.
Yeah, Black
Widow. There we go.
Fucking Scarlett Johansson and oh God, I will never not confuse those two.
Yeah.
But yeah, with Whitney Houston's "And I Will Always Love You" playing. Oh my God.
Great.
You start off right with one of the funniest bits in the movie.
And like at first you're like sad though because they're playing it over the Marvel logo, and you're like,
Yeah.
oh, this is sad. But then they just the picture of Tony or the Comic Sans,
Yeah, the Comic Sans.
The Comic Sans
Oh
pops
my
up, and
god. And then yeah, it goes to like the school news thing with Betty Brant and the Jason kid, and Jason like swears 3 times in a row and they have to censor it because it's on a high school news station. It was
and then
great.
also like the little comments about moving on and her like side eyeing him.
Yeah, it was. Oh my god, it was so funny
That was
because
so good.
they're so awkward. Every actor in this is so perfectly awkward for being
Oh
16.
yes.
They my hats go off to the director John Watts and the screenwriters. I just had their names, Chris McKenna and Eric Summers, because they do such a good job. Because both of them also worked on Homecoming, or all three of them, I mean, also worked on Homecoming, and it's just they do such a perfect job with these movies. It's so
Oh,
hard
yeah.
for me to not give it 100. I had to come up with the most bullshit reason to not give this movie a 100, and that's they don't use the original Spider-Man theme. That's it. That's the reason this isn't 100 for me, because I couldn't bring myself to put it with The Godfather and Casablanca.
I
It's
had to. I
it's just so much fun. It's the most enjoyable movie I've ever seen. It's paced perfectly. The cinematography is great. We just talked a whole lot about the acting. Go see this fucking movie. I don't care if you're a Spider-Man fan. I don't care if you're a superhero fan. Go see this movie. It's a perfect teen comedy.
if you're gonna go see this movie, I have a Peter Tingle that you're gonna like it.
Oh, Peter Tingle! We didn't mention Peter Tingle. They don't call it Spidey Sense. They call it Peter Tingle.
Aunt May goes, ah, your little Peter Tingle.
It's every time they say it, and they say it like 10 times.
Oh
You
my
you
god.
laugh every time they say it.
That was so funny.
And fucking oh my, Happy Hogan is in love with Aunt
Oh my
May,
god. He goes,
and
I'm in love with Spider-Man's aunt.
she thinks it's just a summer fling, and he's like nuts about her. They have this whole thing at the end of the movie where Spider-Man's talking to the two of them, and
Oh, and right
oh my god.
when Happy's flying him over the fake cyclone thing, and he's like,
Oh
we have to
yeah.
have a serious talk about you and my ah.
You and my aunt. Ah! It's just oh my god.
And then one thing I actually thought was really weird that I didn't realize right away is in the trailer, there's actually the fight scene where he's like in New York with the Iron Spider suit, and then he like talking to the cops, and he's
Yeah,
like,
they don't show it.
they don't
It's
show
not in
that
the
at
movie.
all. I was like, I mean, I appreciate the choice to like not give away more of the movie, but I was very surprised by that.
That's classic Marvel. Um, by the way, I'm looking. This movie has an 8.2 on IMDb, and that's really way too low.
That really is.
Um, it's great.
Oh, Mark, we didn't even mention the big twist that Mysterio's not even like a superhero at all.
Oh yeah, it's just illusion tech.
It's just a regular human. He's just a normal
But
human.
see, for me, that isn't a big twist because that's Mysterio in the comics.
Oh, is it?
Mysterio in the comics, he's a Hollywood special effects artist,
Oh, I didn't
and
know
that's
that.
how. Yeah, Mysterio never has powers.
I thought he did have powers.
No, it's all illusions, and that's why he's called Mysterio.
Yeah, I know. I
Because
thought
it,
it was like
yeah.
illusions, but I thought he was like using his powers to make those illusions.
No,
Not.
it's all smoke and mirrors.
Oh.
And they do that in this movie, which I'm glad they did that because I
Yeah.
didn't want them to give him powers because I like Mysterio better when he's a regular guy.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing with Spider-Man villains is most of them are regular guys.
Yeah.
Like Kingpin doesn't have powers, he's just really strong.
Yep.
Green Goblin's different, obviously. But he's still just like a business mogul, Norman Osborn. Doc Ock has robotic arms, but he doesn't have powers. Vulture doesn't have powers. Shocker doesn't have powers. Electro's different. But Rhino's just a guy in a big suit. That's the thing with Spider-Man villains is most of them don't have regular superpowers.
Okay, so if he doesn't have powers, how does he like fight Spider-Man then? Because at least in this one, he has drones that like shoot things. Like, there's no way he had that.
No, usually in in the TV show and in the comics, usually he is like a thief
So he doesn't
who
actually.
just uses it to get away.
Gotcha.
Spider-Man like has trouble catching him, and then when he goes to fight him, he does stuff like from this where it's like he throws like smoke bombs at him to, get him to see other things, and like, uses electric shocks and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he does something similar in this movie where it's like 3D animation with real damage, they call it. And so he's actually doing damage to things, but it can hurt, but it's sort of only if you don't get the illusion. It's
Yeah.
weird. But I like how they did Mysterio in this movie. I thought
I
it was
really
cool.
like how they did it. Yeah.
I like that he worked for Stark. It gave him a motive
Mhm.
because
And
I
that
wasn't sure
scene,
what his motive was gonna be.
the scene where they're going through all of the people working with him, that was super
Mhm.
cool.
Oh yeah, it was. We're talking, they were talking about like the roles they had and the whole
Mhm.
thing. Really good job setting up that Beck wasn't working alone and that he
Yeah.
needed all these people to do this stuff for him. Because it just shows he's a regular guy. So I gave it a 99. Mara gave it 100. Rotten Tomatoes score, audience 98. The critics' tomato meter 93. So 93% of people liked it. It's such a good movie. I'm so happy we saw it when we did. I feel like we still have more we can talk about.
Oh, the most important thing that we didn't talk about, the Power Rangers reference.
Oh yeah, they did. They did reference Power Rangers, and Mara and I gave each other a high five. Um,
Because one of the
but
students, or teacher, was it the teacher?
I think it was JB Smoove.
Oh, yeah. Talks about how the new monster is all of the other monsters coming together,
Yeah,
like
and
in
he
Power
says it's like
Rangers.
Power Rangers, and then the other teacher, like the main teacher, I can't think of his name now.
Mr. Harrington.
Yeah, Mr. Harrington. He goes, "That's Voltron." That's a Voltron reference, not Power Rangers. It was
Yes.
just a funny little thing. But yeah, it's
Oh, and then the part where they start playing. Well, I can't remember what the name of the song was, but Peter goes, "Oh,
oh
I
when they
love."
play Back in Black. No,
He
that's
goes, "Oh,
also
I
why.
love
That's
Led
also why
Zeppelin."
this gets a 99. Disrespecting AC/DC, my
But
favorite
they
band of
did
all
it on
time.
purpose. Like
Yeah, I know.
it was
I know.
very well done. I think that was a
No,
very well done thing.
this is just like my fake gripe with Godzilla King of the Monsters destroying Fenway Park. I don't actually care about that, but I'm gonna pretend to care about it.
Did you hear the person behind us? I think it was. As soon as he said that, he's not young enough to make that mistake.
I thought
Like,
you said that.
no, no, that
Oh.
wasn't me. Someone was like genuinely offended by that.
Oh yeah. No, it was Robbie that said that.
No, it was like a woman's voice.
Oh really? I thought it was
Yeah,
Robbie.
I don't think it was Robbie.
No, it actually was because I looked at him and we talked about it for a second. It was
I'm
Robbie
pretty sure
that said he.
there was definitely someone else who made like a very
Oh
loud
well,
comment.
Robbie mentioned it.
Yeah.
Like during the movie, I like looked at him. He goes, "He's not young enough for that." But yeah, Back in Black starts playing when he's building his suit. Because Happy goes, "I'll be in charge of the music," and he starts playing Back in Black, and Peter goes, "Oh yeah, I love Led Zeppelin," and I almost shot myself.
That was so funny though.
No, it was hilarious because that's just like they got to work one of those into every movie Spider-Man's in. Whether it's Civil War, hey, have you guys seen
Oh,
that
yeah.
really old movie, The Empire Strikes Back, or have you ever seen that really old movie Aliens? Like, yeah, they have to do something like that.
And then another one of the great moments is when Happy throws the like shield like thing and then it just falls on the
How
ground
does
and he's
how does Cap do that?
like, yup. That was so good. Oh, another big thing, the stealth spider suit,
Awesome.
awesome, absolutely amazing.
his new suit's cool too. The red and black. I love it.
Yeah, that was cool, but like stealth suit is not something I thought I would ever see in a Spider-Man movie, and
Yeah.
I'm so happy that we got it.
Yeah, the stealth suit is really cool. Um, I like how the eyes flip up.
Yeah, yeah, that was cool.
But yeah,
Oh, also, don't they like never actually say Hydro Man in the movie?
no, they don't say
They just
Hydro
call
Man,
it the
Molten Man,
water
Sandman. Yeah,
elemental.
no, but they are the elementals.
Okay.
So it's assumed that Hydro Man, Sandman, Molten Man, and Wind Guy.
Wind guy.
I don't know his name.
I don't either.
Uh, but yeah. So, Mara, can you pick a favorite part of the movie?
Oh, do I have to pick one?
You know, what? Top three. Three favorite
Top three.
parts of
Oh wait,
Spider-Man
actually,
Far
I
From
do
Home.
have a favorite part.
Oh, you do?
It's
You can
when
still do top three. So
okay,
actually do 3-1.
3 to 1. I'd have to think about that for like a solid few minutes. Ugh.
Okay, so I can do mine. Number three for me is just the humor in general. Like the how funny this movie was. It was so funny.
So funny.
It's actually on IMDb. It's not even billed as a comedy. It's action, adventure, sci-fi. This needs to be billed as a comedy
Oh,
first because this is a
100%.
teen comedy about Spider-Man. That's the same thing someone would say for Homecoming. It's a teen comedy about Spider-Man.
It's definitely a teen romantic comedy as well.
Yes, teen romantic comedy about Spider-Man. It's so funny. My second favorite thing is how they handled Mysterio. Like I said, I loved how they did it, giving him a motive by being a disgruntled ex-employee of Tony Stark, and getting Peter to trust him and give him Edith. It's just, I love how they did that. My favorite thing about this movie is MJ.
Oh, that's a good one.
She killed. I'm telling you, Zendaya killed it.
She did. She really
Zendaya
did.
became one of my favorite actresses in this movie.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
She
100%.
was so good.
She's
Everything
almost
out
up
of her
there
mouth.
with John Cena.
Everything out of her mouth was either really heartfelt or really hilarious. And sometimes both. It was great. Zendaya, MJ, my favorite part about this movie. And that's how you know this movie's good if Spider-Man wasn't even one of my favorite parts. And that's not saying anything about Tom Holland.
Yep.
Because he's incredible. You
So-
got three?
For number 3, it definitely has to be the opening sequence with the "I will always love you."
Yes. That's
Amazing, amazing.
very hard for me to not put on my list.
Yes. Aha. And number 2.
That's probably number 4, actually. That was awesome.
Number 2 would probably be the wide range of suits we get to see in the movie. Get to see the Iron Spider, the regular one, Stealth Spider, and the new one,
Yeah.
the Black Spider one.
Yeah.
Oh my
but
god,
yeah,
Night
4
Monkey.
suits.
That was
Oh,
hilarious
Night
too.
Monkey! We didn't mention Night Monkey.
Oh,
So, yeah, when he's wearing the stealth suit at one point, Ned and Betty Brant, who are on like a Ferris wheel, which is hilarious how cliche they made all the high school romance stuff. But they're on a Ferris wheel, and Betty's like, "I think that's Spider-Man." He's like, "Oh no, that's not Spider-Man. Why would Spider-Man be in Europe? That's Night Monkey, the European knockoff
Knockoff.
Spider-Man." And so they start yelling, Night Monkey, come help us!" And they show the name Night Monkey on like a couple like foreign news channels and stuff. It was so funny.
it was so funny. And then number 1 has got to be like those short little action scenes with Spider-Man, like specifically the one like where they're on the bus and he like
Yes.
jumps out, shoots the drone, shoots the rock, and then pulls it back, and then is back down. That was done so well. Like the bit of slow motion they had in there, and oh
They
my
use slow
God,
motion perfectly
they
in this
did it
movie.
so well, so well.
Slow motion's so hard to get right, and they got it right.
And then also the one where he's like using his spidey senses to see the drones.
Yeah.
That
yeah,
was
yeah.
really well done too.
They
like
did a
with the
really
slow
cool
motion.
scene where his eyes were
Oh,
closed.
sorry, his Peter Tingle.
Yeah, it's Peter Tingle. His eyes were closed, and he needed to fight the drones that were creating illusions around him using only his Peter Tingle, and it was so fucking cool.
It was so cool.
I
Because
just
you would like see the drones like as he started to like fight them, and oh
Yeah.
my God.
it's I'm gonna see it again this weekend. Mara, want to go?
Yes.
Um, okay, we can see it again this weekend because this is one of my favorite movies now. I like. I'm just gonna first let me give it the official 99 in my ratings. Um, just typed that in there, and I gotta sort them for a second. But I believe this is gonna be my number 3 movie all time.
It's my number one, easily.
Well, I've also, I've rated a lot more like I've rated a lot of movies and
But even not rating them, like,
yeah.
easily number one. I'm also
Um,
not as much of a fan of Casablanca as you are.
that's fair. Um, so yeah, my my top 10 is now different. Uh, The Godfather, Casablanca, Spider-Man: Far From Home, The Godfather Part 2, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, The Departed,
The Departed.
Star Wars: A New Hope, Schindler's List, Network, and The Dark Knight. This movie did something I thought no movie could ever do. Because The Godfather is my top-rated movie. It's not my favorite movie. The Departed was my favorite movie. And this dethrones The Departed, which I thought was impossible.
This movie was crazy.
I had heard it was going to be better than Homecoming. I was fine with that. I was like, good. I did not expect it to be better than Into the Spider-Verse, and it was.
I didn't expect to be this good. So, up until now, I have never really had like a definitive favorite movie. It was just Spider-Man movies. Like, those are my favorite
Mm-hmm.
movies. This just destroyed all of that.
It's so good.
So good.
Well, at some point, because I just read you my 10 best movies ever. At some point, we should do a top 10 favorite movies.
Put that on the back burner.
We can do that later this week. Since this is your favorite movie, we obviously know what number one's going to be. And it's now my favorite movie. But we can talk about the other ones, too.
No, the real play is to wait just long enough where people forget about this one, and then we bring it back up.
That's fair. Yeah, we'll do it eventually. Well, we will do a ranking later this week, though. How about that?
All right.
So, Mara, do you want to... I've got nothing else to say about the movie. It's perfect. Or almost perfect. In my eyes. It's perfect in your eyes.
Really dark good.
So, you did the intro. How about you do the outro, too?
All right.
Wait. We can't leave yet. Rubber chicken.
Rubber chicken rating? You go first.
Mara?
Oh boy.
Give me 406. No, I'm joking.
No.
No, give me 9.9 squeezes. Thank you.
I guess I gotta do 10.
All right, beautiful. So, Mara, you do the outro.
All right. And I'll leave you with this, folks. Good night, and mother's milk.